First, thanks for your time. I'm going to talk about our flagship Santa Ana project. We made a high-quality discovery in about 26 months ago, and now we moved that to the next milestone, which is a maiden resource estimate, and we think there's a future mine for Santa Ana. Forward-looking statements, basically risk and how risk affects outcomes. The milestone is a high-grade maiden resource estimate. Only 7 of more than 35 sampled veins are in the resource. Excellent metallurgy, simple mineralogy, 93.4% silver and 96.7% gold. Each vein is open at depth and laterally, and we have a very high success rate of about 628 ounces per meter drilled. The indicated portion of the resource is 1.23 million tons at 614 grams equivalent silver per ton for 24.2 million silver equivalent ounces. Inferred is 996 million tons at 435. Combined, it's roughly 37.6 million silver equivalent ounces at 530 grams silver equivalent per ton. 64% of the silver equivalent ounces are classified as indicated. 75% of that of the combined resources are silver, and that represents a 158 gram equivalent silver per ton cutoff. So why Outcrop or why Santa Ana? Extremely high grades, of course. The resource we think will be in the upper 15th percentile or better worldwide. You can scan some of those headliner assays. 1.9 kilograms equivalent silver over 5.82 meters. 1.7 kilograms equivalent silver per ton over 5.9 meters. And we have 11 near-term targets with up to 64 grams gold and 9,730 grams equivalent silver per ton. In the entire project, we think we have about 150 kilometers of veins mapped and projected, both by us and the Colombian Geological Survey. So really that's comparable to some of these. The cumulative vein length is comparable to some of these world-class Mexico silver districts like Fresnillo and Guanajuato. The system footprint in its entirety is over 270 square kilometers, and we control about 80% of that. Regards to the team, besides the technical group with discoveries under their belt, we have a really excellent team with a lot of experience running a strong social program with a lot of very innovative programs to continue having social license and support for local exploration. Company snapshot, 195 million shares outstanding, fully diluted 302 million. Institutional and high net worth is 74%. Management and directors is 12%. I own about 2%, putting together over a bunch of financings over a number of years. Eric Sprott owns 14%. We're in the middle of currently in the middle, close to the end of financing. Eric Sprott came in with $1 million to maintain his 14%. We do have analyst coverage through Research Capital as a speculative buy when we hit 15 million ounces at a $3 per ounce EV. The forecast is 75 cents. If they're correct, there's a lot of upside between our current price of 25 cents and 75 cents, obviously. Also, we had some disappointment, honestly, in the market. We spent too much time strategically, we should have spent more time on scale or inferred and less on indicated. But in any case, year to year, April 24th to April 25th, we still had almost a 72% return. I've got 36 years experience in pretty much all aspects of economic geology. Other notable people in management are Kathy Lee. She's an excellent investor relations person. It's more than a dartboard. It's a real structured program with evaluations of how we're doing. So we've had some direct benefit of her being on board. Otherwise, we have Guillermo Hernandez. He's an economic geologist. We hired him away from Lundin Gold, from Fruta del Norte, both brownfields, greenfields, and part of the resource estimation team, so it was good timing with respect to him as a hire. Just an overview, infrastructure. It's a drive-up property, highway access, grid power, including a major transmission line, hydroelectric power, strong community support, and excellent security conditions. Also, it's important that silver, with respect to the new government in particular, Gustavo Petro, his administration wants to support green energy transition metals, which is silver, copper, nickel, and so we're sort of aligned with the government on both the metal, being relatively benign environmentally as an underground operation, and also very, very strong support with the community and engagement of the community. We've drilled almost 61,000 meters in 342 holes, so it's substantially de-risked. The mineralization is not going anywhere, I mean, except for expanding with the knowledge we have. The weighted average grade for every intercept above the cutoff grade of 158 grams is a little over a kilogram. The equivalency is 4.18 grams gold and 810 grams silver, with some lead and zinc that would come out as concentrate, but we're not counting that as part of the resource. The exploration potential is near term. We're exploring about 18 cumulative vein length. On the northeast end, we have the Royal Santa Ana mines, where the Spanish produced 17 grams. On the south end, we have the Frias mine that produced 7.8 million ounces of silver at 1.3 kilograms recovered by a British company up to about 2012. So we're not exactly sure. We need to do a little bit more looking, but we think we're the second or third highest equivalent silver grade worldwide. I think to your right, some of those may be a little bit higher, especially on the low end, but we think the only people we know, or the only project and company we know that has better grade is Silvercrest Las Chispas at 913 for indicated versus ours at 614 grams. This is sort of a busy chart, but it's the comparisons that Research Capital put together. Basically, we have favorable comparisons, especially with grade. Actually, we beat them all with grade with Blackrock Silver, Dolly Varden, and Vizsla. So a very high indicated grade of 614 grams equivalent silver. High overall grade of 530 grams combined. Resource classified as indicated as 64%, and a very high silver gold ratio of 73%. In terms of peers, our enterprise value or market value per ounce is only $2.23, as opposed to 4 or 5 peers at $5.35. So there's some room for growth in terms of valuation as the market sort of catches up with our value. Excellent exploration upside. I mentioned the Royal Santa Ana mines and the Frias mine, respectively north and south. There's only 7 veins in the dark red that are in the resource. That's out of about a total of 35 sampled veins. We have 11 targets that are basically drill ready, and those targets average probably 4 kilograms equivalent silver per ton at surface, either in a trench or in cross-cut adits. It's pretty old school, simple exploration. You either go underground in the artisan adits, or you just expose it at surface and dig trenches, cut the trenches, step off and drill. This is just a snapshot of some of the chutes. Is Las Maris. It's about 100 meters wide. These occur repetitively about every 200 to 300 meters along the vein, these chutes. Las Maris is 1.71 meters true thickness at a weighted average grade of 906 grams equivalent, open at 350 meters depth. Los Naranjos, 0.75 meters, true width of 926 equivalent grams weighted average grade, open at 300 meters of depth. These are the 2 chutes that we've drilled. These are the deepest we've drilled. It's an overprinted mesothermal system. We don't know the bottom of it. It could be substantial. Very simple mineralogy, and thus very simple metallurgy. 90% of the gold is particulate in the free state. There's 4% coarse native silver, 4% very coarse electrum, and then 88% of the rest of the silver is in argentite and canthite, which is an easy mineral to process. So that simple mineralogy leads to very good recoveries, 93.4% for silver, 96.7% for gold. If we do a bulk concentrate, it results in 12 kilograms silver and 172 grams per ton gold. Very quick, very low retention times in the processing, and also just recently, or just in the last couple of days, we got results that show the tails essentially aren't acid generating. The aspect, especially in Colombia has a fairly young modern mining culture because of the insurgencies over 40 years or more. It's really like working in Chile or Peru 40 years ago. I can't go anywhere in the world, at least with my experience, and find projects like Santa Ana that are still available and not partitioned. So some of the in order to be also aligned with the government, the social programs have to be strong, and we've done some innovative things. We have a reforestation program because subsistence farming can be very hard on forests. We started a beekeeping program as a micro-cap business, and it turned out that we have 8 million bees now in 7 or 8 different hives. Each of the hive areas service about 700 to 800 hectares with pollination, and all of a sudden the avocado, mango, vegetable, whatever production doubled as soon as the efficient pollinators came back. We also do primary and secondary education for adults, including graduating classes. The reforestation, by the way, plants 4,000 trees every 6 months. We do that in cooperation with the military. We grow them, they plant them. We also have, we make it a practice to work many months in the area before the drill rigs show up. So down in Frias, that we're just doing advancement of targets, but moving that way with the drill rig, we rehabilitated a clinic, had the local government work with us on the standards and the aspect of the clinic itself, and then we have from Falan, which is near our closest town to our project, the medical personnel come down 3 times a month, and they aid about 2,000 people around Frias. We've got about 334 direct jobs, which is substantial because the population of the Falan and the Falan municipality is only 9,000. We provide about 4% of the jobs in the area. So catalysts will be, we aren't drilling at the moment. We needed to step back and do some planning, and while we're doing that, we rebid the project. But we'll basically have a drill starting up in the next few weeks. We'll have good news flow for 12 months because we'll be drilling 800 meters, and we'll be drilling around the Frias mine, which is basically a slam dunk for hitting more mineralization, and then in the range of 10 to 12 months, we will put together a revised statement after drilling about 17,000 meters. And I really appreciate your time. It's a pleasure to be here.